The thing about a spiral is if you follow it inward, it never actually ends. It just keeps tightening, infinite. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat.
Gratitude creates hope, and hope activates the law of attraction.
The beginning is the most important part of the work. I'm not into this whole move with the times thing. I reckon we should just decide on a year and stick with it. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. When you're screwing up, and nobody says anything to you anymore, that means they've given up on you.
Lower your expectations, but never lower your standards.
It's a lie to think you're not good enough. It's a lie to think you're not worth anything. Stand up for what is right, even if it means standing alone. Friendship with oneself is all important, because without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. Before wanting to feel at home with someone else, learn how to feel at home with yourself. Life will never conform to all of our desires, ever. You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. Success is doing what you want to do, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want. I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
People who fit don't seek. The seekers are those that don't fit.
No one knows your truth but you. If you're secure in yourself, no one and no can touch you. I think of life as a good book. The further you get into it, the more it begins to make sense. Never feel shame for trying and failing, for he who has never failed is he who has never tried. It takes as much courage to have tried and failed as it does to have tried and succeeded. I feel like a big faker because I've been putting my life back together and nobody knows. Never compromise truth for the sake of getting along with people who can only get along when we agree.
If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it. Dining with the king, your attire, attitude, and mentality must change.
A man can't be always defending the truth. There must be a time to feed on it. Feeling lost, crazy, and desperate belongs to a good life as much as optimism, certainty, and reason. Surround yourself with people who talk about visions and ideas, not people. Forgive yourself before you die, then forgive others.
Changing is what people do when they have no options left.
You make the world a better place by making daily improvements to become the best version of yourself.
No other success can compensate for failure in the home. Remember that you are only alive now. This is the only moment you have. Embrace it.
Life is just a short period of time in which you are alive. Accept what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be.
If I have a platform and a voice, I should use it for my people.
Every block of work has patience inside it, and it is the task of skills to discover it.
Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose.
No amount of regretting can change the past, and no amount of worrying can change the future. Everyone's time is limited. What matters most is to focus on what matters most.
Know what you want, work to get it, then value it once you have it.
Life without any wonder left in it is flat and stale. There's a whole category of people who miss out by not allowing themselves to be weird enough.
The space under the sky is occupied by all things in their unity.
The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. I think it's important to hold a mirror up to society and yourself. You can't just wish change. You have to live the change in order for it to become a reality. To be successful, you have to be out there. You have to hit the ground running.
You not only are hunted by others, you unknowingly hunt yourself.
Those who would wage war should first eliminate all domestic enemies before proceeding to attack the external foe. A concept is a brick. It can be used to build a courthouse of reason, or it can be thrown through the window. It frightens me, the awful truth of how sweet life can be.
I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university.
I have two enemies in all the world, two twins, inseparably fused, the hunger of the hungry and the fullness of the full.
Just go with it, he thought. You won't figure out anything if you give in to fear.
Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness.
Being unconquerable lies with yourself. Being conquerable lies with your enemy.
Do your best and trust the process.
You will never know how high you can climb until you reach the top. If your actions don't live up to your words, you have nothing to say. It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful.
An intelligent man is one who acknowledges his intelligence as that of those who surround him. I don't need a lot. I just want to find my peace. Life is a magical journey, so travel endlessly to unfold its profound and heart-touching beauty. Now and then it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed. The goal is timeless. Chase the moment and you lose. Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go. Where joy grows deep, sorrow must deepen. The greater one's pleasures, the greater the pain. The act of going within, finding our truth and then sharing it, it helps us far more than we know.
A clown on a throne is still a clown. A king in rags is still a king.
I think the highest and lowest points are the important ones. Anything else is just in between. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things. Stop doing what is easy or popular. Start doing what is right. You have to lift a person up before you can really put them in their place. The spirit of a man is constructed out of his choices. It does not take courage to kill. It takes courage to live. Whenever you feel bad, remember all the good days you've had and be happy again. Everything will be all right in the end. So if it is not all right, it is not the end. I can be forced to live without happiness, but I will never consent to live without honor. Don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Once you realize you deserve a bright future, letting go of your dark past is the best choice you will ever make. Our power lies in our small daily choices, one after another, create eternal ripples of a life well lived. Youth offers the promise of happiness, but life offers the realities of grief. Knighthood lies above eternity. It doesn't live off fame, but rather deeds. You rely too much on brain. The brain is the most overrated organ. When it's possible for you to dream, it's not impossible to achieve.
Grace isn't a little prayer you chant before receiving a meal. It's a way to live. Travel light, live light, spread the light, be the light.
Because if you found meaning in your life, you don't want to go back. You want to go forward. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Wisdom is to speak the truth and act in keeping with its nature. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Do not look for happiness outside yourself. The awakened seek happiness inside. Today I bent the truth to be kind, and I have no regret, for I am far surer of what is kind than I am of what is true.
So the important thing in a military operation is victory, not persistence. My fear was not of death itself, but a death without meaning.
Nothing is generous. New knowledge is a valuable commodity. The more truth we have to work with, the richer we are. You can't stay in your corner of the forest waiting for others to come to you. You have to go to them sometime.
Receive with simplicity everything that happens to you. Truth often sacrificed for the sake of stability and peace. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
There are two types of pains, one that hurts you and the other that changes you. Quietly endure, silently suffer, and patiently wait.
If those at your top are weak, your bottom will be rotten.
As architect of your reality, you are empowered to create it as you choose. You have three choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened.
It was easier to ask for forgiveness than it was to get permission.
Having the best doesn't make you the best, but producing the best makes you the best. Cunning grows in deceit at seeing itself discovered, and tries to deceive with truth itself.
Fear not the path of truth, for the lack of people walking on it.
Change your life today. Don't gamble on the future, act now, without delay. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself. Life might take you down different roads, but each of you gets to decide which one to take. Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric. The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight battles we know nothing about. We all have stories we tell ourselves, until we believe them to be true. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. Take care of your costume, and your confidence will take care of itself. We are alone, live our lives lacking anything better to do, devise reason later.
War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid only of standing still.
Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we miss. When you connect to the silence within you, that is when you can make sense of the disturbance going on around you. If life's an exercise in making memories, no one really goes away as long as they are remembered. Gamitin ang puso para alagaan ang taong malapit sa iyo. Gamitin ang utak para alagaan ang sarili mo. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our Time strides so uneven, some days endless, and others like the blink of an eye. There was another life that I might have had, but I am having this one.
If you're treated like a puppet, find a new ball of string. Do more listening than talking. Talk more about them than about you.
Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door.
Better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year.
There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. We have now sunk to a depth at which restatement of the obvious is the first duty of intelligent men.
If you are strong, appear weak, but if you are weak, appear strong.
Being ourselves was the easiest path to choose, although not the easiest to see through till the end.
Be willing to leave the ground behind if you want to fly.
The bird of paradise alights only upon the hand that does not grasp. Lies do not lie, truth do, in the times of any act lie hidden behind. Remake the world, a little at a time, each in your own corner of the world. Every person has a right to risk their own life for the preservation of it. When something ought to be true, then it proves to be a very powerful truth. Do not set aside your happiness. Do not wait to be happy in the future. The best time to be happy is always now. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them.
Sometimes your only available transportation is a leap of faith. When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world.
If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed.
There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs.
Nothing is ever complete. You just have to get it close enough that it makes you happy. What you do doesn't frighten your enemies as much as what you are.
The scholar does not consider gold and jade to be precious treasures, but loyalty and good faith. My only advice is to stay aware, listen carefully, and yell for help if you need it.
Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. A smart person knows how to talk. A wise person knows when to be silent. Price of peace could only be valued by people who had suffered loss in the war. Excessive praise arises from the same bigotry matrix as excessive criticism.
A single death is a tragedy. 1,000,000 deaths is a statistic. Wake up with determination. Go to bed with satisfaction.
Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but rather learning to start over. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. Rewards and punishments are the lowest form of education. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. Dead yesterdays and unborn tomorrows, why fret about it, if today be sweet?
In order to form an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must, above all, be a sheep. For every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert. Other people are only aspects of our own greater being.
It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. The more you feed your mind with positive thoughts, the more you can attract great things into your life. But this wealth of information produced little or no insight. Above all else, guard your heart, for it affects everything else you do. Those who wish to market their good deeds must do well to place their bad deeds on the shelf too. It should not matter, of course, that I could be crazy, because, as luck would have it, fortune favors me. If life throws you a few bad notes or vibrations, don't let them interrupt or alter your song. You can live your whole life not realizing that what you're looking for is right in front of you. If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor.
All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. All is mystery, but he is a slave who will not struggle to penetrate the dark veil. Wisdom comes not from age, but from education and learning.
My world is about stories that entertain, emotions that move, people you'll remember, literature that matters. Those who will not reason are bigots, those who cannot are fools, and those who dare not are slaves.
Transmit the established facts. Do not transmit words of exaggeration. If you do that, you will probably come out all right.
Success goes to the ones who do. Get up, show up, throw up if you have to. Do it afraid, but do it no matter.
Do good. Live in the most positive and joyful way possible every day.
The trouble with fiction, said John Rivers, is that it makes too much sense. Reality never makes sense. In a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. The truth that makes men free is for the most part the truth which men prefer not to hear.
It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. Not knowing you can't do something is sometimes all it takes to do it.
There is your truth and there is my truth. As for the universal truth, it does not exist. Truth is not as pompous and romantic as myth, but it has the immeasurable value of being the truth. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Fairness does not mean everyone gets the same. Fairness means everyone gets what they need.
Everybody stay positive, no matter how negative life gets. Every ounce of my cynicism is supported by historical precedent.
In order to make a precise decision, keep a steady spiritual connection. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. We have not been rewarded to evolve over our failures, but punished never to make mistakes again.
When you procrastinate, you become a slave to yesterday.
We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. Most people don't care, and some secretly want you to fail.
Life is worth living when you have someone to share it with.
The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits.
Opening up to the wrong person is like putting ammo in their hands. Every beginning has an end, and every end is a new beginning.
In truth, Freud sees nothing and understands nothing.
The only way you can know where the line is if you cross it.
Edit your life frequently and ruthlessly. It's your masterpiece after all.
Music in the soul can be heard by the universe.
Become totally empty. Quiet the restlessness of the mind. Only then will you witness everything unfolding from emptiness. Excellence, perfection is not a destination. It is a continuous journey that never ends. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Sometimes the things and questions that make us angry are true in nature, or we know they are, deep down in our heart.
Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside.
One day can change your life, one day can ruin your life. All life is 3 or 4 big days that change everything. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. I want to build to that mogul, legendary level. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway.
I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, then that is softness of head. No matter how good you get, you can always get better, and that's the exciting part.
Every man is a damn fool for at least 5 minutes every day. Wisdom consists in not exceeding the limit. I like to set my dreams high. That way, even if I only make it halfway there, it's still pretty darn good. Without causality in the world, there is no point in educating people or making any moral or political appeal. What saves a man is to take a step, then another step. After all, if you do not resist the apparently inevitable, you will never know how inevitable the inevitable was.
Staying in the past won't help you move on to your future. Just let it be. If it's meant to be, it will happen.
With the truth, all given facts harmonize, but with what is false, the truth soon hits a wrong note.
Create your own miracles. Do what you think you cannot do.
Good ideas stay with you until you eventually write the story. It takes sunshine and rain to make a rainbow. There would be no rainbows without sunshine and rain. Amidst a crowd of friends, a search for truth begins. Find the few who stand by through thick and thin.
The spirit tower has its guardian, but unless it understands who its guardian is, it cannot be guarded.
If people make fun of you, that probably means you're doing something right. Keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best, and the rest will follow. It might be possible that the world itself is without meaning. Searching outside of you is samsara. Searching within you leads to nirvana. Suffering is part of our training program for becoming wise. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to start this day, because then I'll just be expected to finish it. Life is a series of surprises and would not be worth taking or keeping if it were not. We'd met at a carefree time, a moment full of promise. In its place now were the harsh lessons of the real world. A wise man always has something to say, whereas a fool always needs to say something. Please go for your dreams. Whatever your ideals, you can become whatever you want to become. Civilization is only possible for deeply unpleasant animals. It is only an ape that can be truly civilized. I scream for everything that has gone wrong. I scream for everything broken in our lives.
Thus the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens. Be grateful for what you already have while you pursue what you want.
You don't need more time. You need less distractions.
The language of light can only be decoded by the heart. Everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality.
We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now.
Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know.
Kindness is not a business. True kindness expects nothing in return and should never act with conditions. Some things aren't meant to be known, only believed. The timing of your struggle depends on how resistant you are to your molding. At times it can feel like the loneliest place on earth because it's just us, alone with our unanswered prayers. Sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them.
We have 4 problems: overthinking, trust, share, love.
In the face of adversity, remember that diamonds are made under pressure.
The smallest light has greater power than the largest darkness. Settle one difficulty, and you keep 100 away. Always blow your own trumpet. Blowing someone else's is unhygienic.
They might pay you to vote for them, but having a wrong government in place, you pay it with your life.
If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh. Otherwise, they'll kill you.
Being able to write becomes a kind of shield, a way of hiding, a way of too instantly transforming pain into honey.
Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose.
Life is like a coin. You can spend it any way you wish, but you only spend it once.
Beyond the fiction of reality, there is the reality of the fiction.
In life, you always see the darkest days before the sunshine. The danger today is in believing there are no sick people. There is only a sick society. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions.
When you take control of your attitude, you take control of your life.
Truth is a hard master and costly to serve, but it simplifies all problems. I distrust every idea that doesn't seem obsolete and grotesque to my contemporary. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there.